Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of The Last American Standing. We're here on the banks of the San Jacinto River. Not far up the river here is where a battle took place a long time ago, and where the Battleship Texas and the San Jacinto Monument stand today. You know, we're watching in American politics as things are beginning to melt down. On the Democratic side of the aisle, Democrats are disenfranchised with the superdelegate system. They've come to figure out that in the primary process in the Democratic Party, the party picks the candidate and their votes don't really count. This was never more evidently clear than in some of the states where Bernie Sanders actually won in a landslide, and yet a very large significant portion of those delegates were awarded to Hillary Clinton. The superdelegate process should actually be called the monarchy process. Let's be honest. It's where the people's right to vote doesn't count, and where the average citizen doesn't have a say in who the presidential candidate is in their primary process. Then on the other side of the aisle, we currently have Ted Cruz supporters, evangelicals, and the Trump supporters locking horns. They believe that they should be able to force people to live in their image in our state and in our country. The truth is, everybody should be going in a different direction right now. We're seeing that start to take place. There are many people that are leaving the two-party system today and heading for a third-party option. The most benefited from that would be the Libertarian Party, especially here in Texas. The contrast to what people believe is going on in their parties and the reality is coming to take shape and form, and people are figuring it out, and they are not pleased. They are not pleased at all. Nobody likes when you try to force them to do things, and that's what's been coming out of the national party's platform people. It's been coming out of the leadership in the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And I'm not saying all Democrats and all Republicans are bad. Don't take that. I've got a lot of friends who are Democrats who do not support the National Democratic Party. I've got a lot of friends who are Republicans who do not support the National Republican Party. They do support their local affiliates and their local people quite well. I mean, we have the Tea Party groups who are clearly a shoot-off of the Republican Party that want to restore the Constitution and get back to principled values and a little more freedom and liberty. But I think it's quite interesting to say that what we're seeing is a transition take place today that may be permanent. This may be the future for American politics, and it's quite probable because when you look at historical evidence, when you go back and you look at things like the breakup of the Soviet Union, you look at the Tiananmen Square, Red China, those weren't just a few people having outbursts. Those were actually political movements. When you go back and you look at the Magna Carta, that was actually a political movement where, the king was handed a Magna Carta on the tip of a sword and said, "You're not entitled to unlimited taxation." Well, that king was paying people that supported him with those taxes, just like it is today. There really is no difference. Our politicians are buying votes. They're taking our money against our will via coercion and force, via the IRS, and that's going to be step one to fixing this country, is going to be the abolishment of the IRS and supporting a fair tax system or some type of tax system in this country that's going to give people a choice. And yeah, we're probably still going to have to pay taxes, but at least they'll be voluntary on some level, and we'll have some choices. That's going to be step one, because when you listen to the arguments going on every political cycle, it's the same arguments now, isn't it? Who controls the money? Who controls the funding? Who's getting taxed? Who's getting tax breaks? That's what it's all about. It's about money, money, money. It's not really about morals and ethics and principles anymore. It's about money. And there are a lot of people that still have morals and ethics, and they value their principles greatly, and they are making the transition from the two-party system to a third party. It's quite interesting to note, after talking to some of my libertarian friends this last week, their membership has spiked sharply. When I mean by sharply, I'm talking somewhere between 22 to 2,500%, I think, are the initial numbers. Now, that's not carved in stone, but the argument can be placed that yeah, their membership is huge right now. And not only are these people leaving with their votes, guess what? Donations are up 400%. Of course, again, these are tentative numbers, but the fact that the donations are up is undeniable. The fact that the memberships are through the roof is undeniable. We're seeing a change take place in this country, and it's about time that we had a third voice in this country to start fighting for our middle class. You know, the poor don't pay taxes. Okay, they get tax refunds. The rich don't pay taxes because they've got their money invested in companies. And let's be honest, a taxation is a product of overhead. It's added into the final price of products. The only people that are paying taxes in this dang country are the middle class. That's it. And that's why the middle class is shrinking. So people, wake up, and it's about time. Maybe the Libertarian Party will be the party that steps up and actually supports the middle class and says, you know what, we're not here to support the poor, we're not here to support the rich, we're here to promote job growth, we're here to promote a better standard of living, we're here to promote equality under opportunity, not equality under the law, forcing people to comply with what you think might be equality for you, but it's not equality for other people because they don't believe as you believe. Maybe equality is freedom. Did anybody ever think about that? Freedom is the true equality. Freedom and liberty. Free markets is the true equality. Well, and anyway, that's our take today on what's going on in American politics across the country today, and it's quite interesting to watch. There's no doubt about it. Good luck with what everybody chooses, but make your decisions wisely, because you know this whole idea of countries transitioning from republics to monarchies to democracy / communism / socialism to dictatorships. Well, you have to understand we are past the republic stage, and we've been in the monarchy stage for quite a while in this country, and now we have started the transition into the democratic socialist communist phase, and what may come next, and don't be shocked if this happens, may be a dictatorship. But we have an opportunity to break the cycle. And that's going to be one of my goals in life from here on out, is to try to break that cycle and to educate the public and teach them there is a better path, there is a better way. And that better way is freedom and liberty and free markets, and not bringing harm to other people, right? Not forcing people to live in your image. You know, our country needs to conform to 3 basic things. Bring no harm to another individual, don't damage their property, and don't steal from anyone. And if you haven't violated these 3 basic laws, then you know what? You better have a really good, hard case for putting people in prison, for stealing money, and for persecuting anyone in this country anymore. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the issue today. Hey, from the San Jacinto River, where many battles took place, God bless. You guys have a good day. Goodbye.